Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ninja Owner Ninja, and basically, quick video for you. Um, I was originally is just kind of whatever. I didn't care. You know what? Let's see, 6:05. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it from the beginning. I want you to see what I do. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna show you the page. So David Pacman show lone liberal destroys Tim Pool and friends in brutal 5v1 debate. Um, this is 1.2 million views. Apparently, it's 7 months ago. It happened 7 months ago. Cool, whatever. But you'll see. So basically, I have a document. It's called Downfall of America, and David Pacman is on that list. Uh, basically, I forgot what I was bringing it up for. Fuck, there's a reason. Anyway, he's on the list of people that are not good, basically sellouts and whatnot. So, anyways, oh, that's why. Because I was going to tell you about the other people. So, there's people like Luke Beasley, Adam Mocular, Chris Mowry, which one of them is trying to bring into this. Kyle Kalinske, David Pacman himself with the Rational National. Those people, Philip DeFranco, who is I don't see because he's completely fucking fake. Okay, like he's the most fake person I think in the world so far that I've seen. But there's a lot of people. Tim Pool, who is on this as well. He's also on my list. Doug Enrique. But anyways, Laura Trump, Mike Huckabee. So these people are on my list, right? And they're people that I don't like. I watch them like to know things that are happening, but I don't really like. There's a saying, don't shoot the messenger. Once upon a time, I don't think that fits today because most people or messengers are like this guy, David Pacman, where it's less about being a messenger and it's more about being like a messenger that like you open the mail and you turned it, basically you spun it like Fox News and how they spin like the dishonorable Democrats today did this thing, and the honorable and good Republicans, and they have to spin it. They can't just simply report on the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like I personally care only about facts, right? I will only report on facts unless I'm talking specifically about like I guess you call this an opinion piece, but basically, uh, it's opinion how I feel about David Pacman, and I will talk about stuff related to him. But I'm not bringing stuff up to make it about something else unless like try to explain. Basically, I'm not like, for example, he's bringing up David, who's he bringing up again? He is talking about a lone liberal destroying Tim Pool, but in that he's like, well, speaking of the way I would have done it is, and like, there's none of that for me. Like, there's no ego involved. Like, there's a lot of ego here, right? But for some reason, people are like, "Oh, you have no ego," but they look at me like, "Oh, you're fucking ego." No, no, no. And they call me arrogant. No, no, no. I'm confident. I'm sorry you don't know what it looks like to deal with the contender that could have been number one if he was able to compete. But that's what it looks like, right? And that's the reason why Michael Jordan, for example, people that don't know him think he's an asshole, but people that know him think he's a really good guy, right? And it's actually a big point of mine. Basically, point out how the world is full of, and I'm doing what I told you, but basically, there's contenders, and then there is like watchers or fans, basically, right? And the problem is the two are mixed. That's what the problem, the trouble in America, and that's why we can't hear the truth because there's so much bullshit. So we need to make it to where we don't listen to everybody, and only a certain amount of people get through. And the problem with that was they made it to where, okay, well, now they're restricting it, we're gonna make it to where only white people benefit, and like that's the problem, right? The problem is everybody, or it's only the white people, and that's what it's because there's control both ways, and you can't say that like the thing that Bernie Sanders talked about. Basically, I'm trying to think of the word. There's the money in America, the way money is progressed in America. I forget the word for it. Capitalism, right? Capitalism. You can look at the good and then there's a bad side, and same way with socialism. There's a good and a bad side, and what they're doing is when they talk about capitalism, it's the top 10%. But when they talk about socialism, they get you to focus on the bottom 10%, and then they compare the two, and then of course capitalism looks better, but you're being unfair. And so what I'm telling you is that whatever you choose, it can be good or bad. It depends, just like how I told you, how it's either everybody or it's just white people, right? And that's kind of the situation. We gotta balance it, and that's what makes it so tricky, is because everyone wants to be A or B. It's one or the other. There's no in the middle, and that's what it is, right? We see on Jubilee, are you Christian or are you not? Are you an atheist or are you a theist, right? And there's no, it depends. There's no maybe. There's no room for a third part, a third party, right? So that's the problem, okay? And the reason why I'm chiming that in because that's basically what this channel is about. I'm just trying to get to the truth on whatever. There's no opinion, there's no bullshit, there's no ego. I just have a bunch of haters that just exist and they hate what I say or they're trolls and they know that I'm like Bernie Sanders and the world's gonna benefit from being around me, right? They know that I am alpha and I will bring you up, and you will eventually take charge, and you will eventually lead, and you'll overcome. And they know that, so they're trying to discredit me and ruin me to make me not look good because that's what it is, right? And that's what I had to deal with in school, but back then I didn't know about it. I didn't know that this was a thing because they didn't teach psychology and philosophy and all that shit. So I didn't know people were doing this. Right, and this is why you need to learn psychology like in middle school because it set you off for life. I think you need to take not psychology but philosophy. Basically, you need to understand philosophy in life. And I didn't understand. Like I was I think 20 something at the time. I was like, I wish I knew this shit. Like just some of the stuff that they know, it's basic stuff, right? And I think once upon a time it was seventh and eighth grade shit. Like this is stuff we need to fucking know. Anyway, so enough spin, right? Because that's basically what I said. I hate that he does it, but the thing is, I haven't started, so that's my excuse. Or is he in the? Well, you'll see. Watch, I'm gonna show you. Watch.
I have some unbelievable video to play for you.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, I'm pretty damn proud of what I'm about to play for you.
For the record, this is fine. I'm about to tell you I'm pretty proud. That's fine. We haven't started yet.
Lone liberal Luke the Bee's Knees Beasley, who started going to Trump rallies for us now, I guess years ago, right? How long has it been? Luke Beasley.
And for the record, this is why I brought up the reporter argument because he went on behalf of us apparently, right? But the problem is every time he talks, he's like, "Well, I think, I feel the way," and that's the problem. Is there's too much ego involved, and people are not seeing it as ego. They see it like, "Oh my God, I love it," or "I think it's amazing, it's amazing." But no, it's ego. It's bad. It's wrong. It's not good. It's shut up. Stop being biased. There should be no spin here. But you can't help but spin it. You just, and this is the problem. We cannot go from what's called shady people like Fox News. They can't be the ones who told us the news. We can't go from one biased network to another. We need to go to Bernie Sanders, someone who's neutral, right? Someone who isn't blue, someone who isn't red, someone who is just America. Like when someone asks me, "Are you red or blue?" I'm stars and stripes. For example, I don't have a red or blue side. Yes, I have a red or blue side socially, but when it comes to leadership, I am the white. Basically, there's no bias here, right? And that's what I was talking about, the Jubilee and whatnot. It depends, and that's what Jordan Peterson was trying to tell that one kid. It depends. Anyways,
Appeared on the Timcast Earl, that's IRL, the Timcast Earl show, and he decimated.
for the record, he's being an asshole there. Like the Timcast Earl, like he knows his IRL. He knows that's his whatever. Like he knows that it turns, but he's being an asshole because again, that's what losers who are egotistical and who do it, but they make it about them. That's what the petty people do, right? That's how petty people act. Right? You're being petty about it. Timcast Earl, that's being petty. Just give the man his dues. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to, if he's a hater, call him out. Stop being a little douchebag and walking around there, being around. This is why I gave shit to Long Island Audit, for example. It's because he wanted to enact a change, but all he was doing is making it to where it was better for him, not for the world, but for him. And I called him out on it. So now he's actually going out there and he's actually getting arrested and he's actually making a big impact. So now, like, if it went from a mosquito bite, is what he was doing, now it's a meteor impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's change. That's good. That's good. That's what I want. I'm going to take all energy and go. If that's what you do, go. No ego. No ego. I don't care. I want to be just chill. I want to be in the back. I want to be with my girl in the passenger seat or in the back seat. I just want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to have fun, right? But the problem is every fucking car that hits the road drives off a fucking cliff, and it's because rich people are in charge, and they choose who rises and falls. And then that's what I'm trying to point out to you. And the reason why they keep making him rise is because he's a biased little bitch. Same for the fucking, uh, whatever the fucking, the lone liberal, whatever his name, Luke Beasley, right? Um, Luke Beasley and whatever your name was, David Pacman, right? Like you're both egotistical, arrogant, dumb, petty little fucking rodents, and they're talking about stupid shit that doesn't matter. Like every time, like it's anyways.
5 Megapotamians who brought the usual specious arguments out. This is real. You know, when I saw Luke in DC,
This is why they won't talk to Bernie Sanders or people like myself because we are like Luke, but we're better and we're really good and we cut to the core, right? But these idiots, they talk about riffraff and bullshit, and so they can milk them and exploit them. And that's what's going on, basically, right? Like this, like what we're seeing is basically what the rich are doing, but on a massive scale, right? So Tim Pool's talking about to an audience and blah 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 in America, but you have to understand, there's people in the world that they're trying to sell to Europe and Africa and Asia and all that different places. They're reaching out to them as well, so it's not just Tim Pool, but it's Tim Pool and stuff. So it's like the point I'm trying to make here is like you're seeing the world as you're seeing it, but you're not seeing enough. You need to scope out, go into like a sniper, basically, right? But you need to put yourself out there is my point, and then you can zoom in, right? Then you can zoom in, but you need to be able to zoom out, right? And that's the point. And you need to be able to zoom out and be okay. That's America, that's Germany, and that's Africa. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, anyways,
last week, he told me he was going to be doing this, and he seemed very well prepared. You know, one of the great things about going to the White House last week was not only did I get to see Luke and the Dollamores and others, I also met folks like Dean Withers, for example, who I think are just doing such a great job in these confrontational debates. And I said to Dean and I said to Luke,
Notice, first off, I got to go to the White House, okay, and I got to experience these things, and I got to. It's all about me. It's always about me, 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 me. But we're not here for you. We're here for the moment. Why are you talking about you and whatever? Like that's not the point. Like what the fuck are we watching right now? What do you people watch? Like 1 million people watched this year, 100,000, or whatever the fucking number was. Like I don't understand. Like 1.2 million people watched this, and um, as 41,000 likes. Like we're a minute in, and he's just talking about himself. Like what the fuck is going on here? Like don't get me wrong, you can say the same thing, but understand my video, what's it called, is about all of this. He is supposed to show us how this lone liberal destroyed Tim Pool, but we're talking about how he feels about discussions with random people. Like it has nothing to do with this video. Like, anyways.
I don't know if it's that I'm just too old for this crap, but I am too tired to go through the prep that's required to really seriously be prepared for these sorts of situations. They threw everything at Luke.
No.
And
So what happened? It's called burnout, basically, and you're burnt out because you're faking it. Like all those entertainers that are running out of content, or they're faking content, or they're having to find some bullshit or another to fill the space. You're having to really reach, and so you're getting burnt out. It's not because you're old. I'm fucking old, and I'm still able to fucking do this shit. And the reason why is because I'm real, unlike you, which is why you keep being petty and egotistical, basically, while you're talking about other people, but you're making it about you and you stealing thunder, right? Like the whole fake it till you make it content. It's all there. It's all real. It's all true. It's all valid. It's all. This is again why they won't have me on the show. Why they don't want to talk about me. Why Bernie Sanders isn't mentioned. Why they don't talk about him, because they know that we get to the truth of the matter, right?
I'm going to play for.
And I will say Sanders is old, just like Jordan Peterson. They get old after a certain point, basically. So it depends, and it's variable in that sense. But anyways,
for you, it's like a media literacy clinic, really. I'm going to play for you some of what I think are the key moments. This was 2.5 hours long, if you can believe that. Anyway, let's not even weigh in on that. But let's dive into it.
Why would you weigh in on that? That's stupid.
A couple of different clips here, and one of the things that, well, let me play it first, and then I'll explain what's interesting about this.
It says from Antifa.
Again, tell me. I think you have a great explanation.
I certainly do. I'm wondering, as you've made an argument, if you know what you're talking about.
How does that connect to my argument?
Do you know the difference between various ideologies among the right and the left? You've not been able to define it.
I actually know. I would say I'm not a master in the distinguishment between different ideologies within a side.
Then how can you claim the right is more violent?
Oh, how can you claim the left is more violent?
Because I know many of
From
these
your
different
feelings
factions
and your observations.
from my field reporting expertise and the reading of the research.
Well, then what research?
So if we distinguish, say, anarcho-libertarian, anarcho-communism, anarcho-syndicalism, we can talk about tankies, we can talk about social liberals, we can talk about traditional liberals.
Now, what Tim Pool is doing here is...
For the record, the lone liberal, like, he is smug, basically. I'm not sure if you can read body language that well, but it's smug. Like, well, he's being sassy. Right, and you can kind of say Tim Pool is essentially taking up the wazoo, as he's known to, and he's getting mad and having to just blurt out stuff. And I will say, David Pacman is about to go over this, and this is fine. This is no problem, because it's context. Like it matters for what's happening. Like right now, he's actually focused. And his ADD mind, or the ADD audience, or whatever. Yes, now we're actually talking about pointed matters. And that's actually a side note I wanted to bring up too. They're talking, so the pointed matter is their debate. but in the field of their debate, they're talking about bullshit. And this is why Bernie Sanders and me won't get pulled in, because we will cut to the teeth. Like the debate will end like that. Because like we will cut to the meat of the, like I'm like I played League of Legends or StarCraft or Warcraft. I went for the neck. Basically, I just, the second I see an opening, I went for it. That's why I was a fucking high level player. That's why I played Super Smash Brothers. I did really good there. PSAS, I did really good there. Like a whole 9 yards. In every game I played, that's how I roll. I'm looking for, the second I see a vulnerability, I attack it. Like and they don't. This is why they're so good and why there's content and why they get burnt out is because they can't hang. Basically, we're watching bullshit on top of bullshit, essentially. So, anyways, what Tim Pool or David Pacman. What David Pacman is doing, I'm fine with. He's explaining something that's happening in the debate. But in that debate, they're talking bullshit. Just know that much.
Totally logically fallacious. It's fallacious, I should say. Oh boy. What?
Yeah, you messed up your script. Good job, fake ass buddy.
It's the day after. Okay. One of the things Tim Pool is doing here is he is trying to argue that if Luke can't define terms that Tim has arbitrarily put forward, Luke can't possibly evaluate data that shows that there is far more right-wing political violence in the United States than left-wing political violence. Now, these are two unrelated things. The thing that Tim asked Luke to define...
Understand, this is a way of looking at something. Tim Pool is looking at it by groups, and then he's ascertaining the information upon groups. David Pacman is saying, I do something else. And that's divide and conquer, essentially. They're arguing that, like, basically they're talking the same thing, but they're seeing past one another. And again, that's what me and Bernie Sanders do very well, because there's no seeing past one another. I will go to where you are, and then I'll bring you to square one, basically, right? When I played Smash Bros. With my friends, I would tell them, you pick who you play, and you pick who I play, and then we'll play. Because that's how good I was, right? I didn't care. It's just I wanted to play the game. I liked the game. That was my... I could have been the number one in the world. Anyways, that's what I did, and that's what I'm doing here now in debates. I'm talking, and I'm getting you to focus on what matters, and you're trying to derail it, but I'm trying to put you back square center. And basically, what David Pacman is pointing out against the lone liberal, that's normal stuff. Like, that's how it should be. You should just focus. But we have to. It's because we, again, like we opened to the point where we allowed casuals and competitors to mix, and now we're trying to avoid competitors, and we're trying to crown casuals because you can exploit casuals. Yeah, being too loud. But yeah, that's what's going on is exploit casuals and whatnot. That's the secret, is to exploit casuals. You can't do that with competitors like me and Bernie Sanders. You can't exploit us. We know. And that's the problem, and why we'll never get brought into the circle, because they can't make money off of that. And that's what's going on. Evil or just bad programming or whatever, that's what's going on. The casuals and competitors, and then the bullshit that comes with that, basically. That's what's going on.
Mine was, what's the difference between left-wing collectivism and right-wing collectivism? Luke said, I don't know. I mean, I can't define that, but that's a separate issue from crime. And of course, there is a relatively simple answer to the difference between left and right-wing collectivism, which is that right-wing collectivism is often based in national identity.
So, what was said here was David looks, no, not David, Tim Pool has a way of looking at data, and the lone liberal does not. And so David's stepping in, and now he's giving his view. So it's David's view. The lone liberal has no view, and then there's Tim Pool's view, and that's what the audience is now seeing, basically. And again, David Pacman is spinning it and getting biased because he's blue and he tends to represent blue and ego and blah blah. And this is why the world's fucked up. It's because you're not the white. You're blue. Like this, like me, I'm neutral. I don't care. I'm red and blue. You know what I'm saying? I'm stars and stripes at the end of the day. Right? If I'm bad for America, take me out, bitch. Take me out. Fuck it. And I'll say, take me out. If I'm bad for America, take me out. Right? But that's also why I'm able to say things like, why the fuck isn't Bernie Sanders in, basically. So anyways.
Racial identity, etc. Whereas left-wing collectivism is more often based along class lines. That's what I would have said. But it doesn't matter, because we know that when you look at politically motivated violence in the United States, the vast majority of it is right-wing. I would even argue, because they they love to pull this game where they say any radical Islamist-based violence is left-wing. Even if you give them that, most of the political violence is still right-wing. But I think if you look at the...
And for the record, it's all noise. The red and blue, or yeah, red and blue, it doesn't matter. Right and left, that doesn't matter. Go deeper. Go deeper than that. And then go deeper even yet. And then you're going to start seeing the rich and the money, basically. And that's the root of the problem. You guys are making noise, and you're able to make more noise, and that's what the rich are clinging on to. And that's the problem, is everyone wants the noise. This was fine when it was a TV show or pretend or whatever, but this is reality. And this is why Hollywood was bad, because they would make fun of reality, but now here it is. Now reality's here, and they're still making light of it, right? Like, they're making it seem normal, basically, right? And that's not good, basically. And there was that one scene, that one episode of South Park that showed up, and you can say that that too is kind of normalizing it, but also at the same time it's showing people how ridiculous it is, because it's on one side, like on the blue side, like it's being kind of normalized, but they broadcast to the right side as well. And on the right, they're saying, "What the fuck is that? Why the?" And they're kind of drawing attention to it because it's not mentioned or talked about too much, and that's the problem, right? And that's the kind of that's the world we're living in. That's why America back then, they flew an airplane that was like, "Hey everyone, be safe. You're okay. America's coming. Stay inside. Wear colors. Be legit. We're coming," right? It's propaganda, is what it's called, right? And so that's basically what happened. It's not propaganda. It's just something else. I think it's called propaganda. But anyways, that's the idea. That's the point there. So anyways, they're just trying to stir the pot. It's just, again, this is all noise. At the end of the day, this is just all noise. It's just drawing attention to this or that or whatever, and none of it matters. Either way, if you blame red or blue, the rich won because they control the red and blue. You know what I'm saying? So,
teachings of radical Islam, how can you argue that that's left-wing? There's nothing left-wing there. You do have the occasional eco-terrorist, which I think could accurately be branded as left-wing. And we don't want to fall into like a no true Scotsman thing where by definition, anyone who commits violence can't be left-wing. No, that's not true. You've got some eco-terrorism occasionally in the United States that we could say that's left wing. But certainly the white nationalist violence and all of that stuff is overtly right wing. And I would argue when you are committing
We're past it. So we'll go back.
violence, that's what I would have said. But it doesn't matter because we know.
Yeah. That's why if you go back, I was like, never mind, because I was uncertain, but I should have done this in the beginning, but it's better. 334. That's why I don't like you. It's not about you and your opinion. Report on the facts. You do not need to spin it to try to brainwash people, much like Fox does. Don't become the enemy. Report on the matter and leave. That's it. I don't see why people like you need to spin it, or people like you feel the need to make it about you. Stop it. And that was the point, basically. That's kind of why I stopped it. Because it literally, you're making it about you, and it's like red and blue, and like you're part of the problem. And the rich are basically benefiting off of you, right? And you think you're the cure. People think you're the cure, but in reality, you're part of the problem because you're just spinning it, and that's the problem. The ball needs to stop spinning. People need to focus, and you're not focused. That's the problem. And again, me and Bernie Sanders will cut straight to it, and then we'll get straight to it because we're focused. You're not focused. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But again, this is why I say there's a saying once upon a time that was don't shoot the reporter. But nowadays, that's not true. Shoot the reporter because the reporter is much like Fox News or like you or like Tim Pool or much like this lone liberal where it's you're making it more about you than just the message. Like once upon a time, you just dropped the message off. There you go, and you just, whatever. That's what the American mail system was. And that's what they're trying to privatize it because, this just seems important. You don't need that because that's what they want to do. They want to jump in there and butt in and take advantage and take control and fuck it up. Whereas there was an honest system before, but they're trying to fuck it up. Remember back then when, what's it called? Man, I don't remember the name, but they tried to privatize the U.S. Postal Service, basically. And they put someone in charge and they're trying to shut it down, and then they're trying to say, look at them, they're failing. You see how they're failing? We should close them down so that we can operate because we're doing better. But in reality, they were actually doing worse. And that's kind of what happens. I remember in the Olympics, either it was this time or last time, and they had it in some place, and the problem was that a lot of people weren't talking about. There's mention of it, but the topic was drowned out really quickly because I told you already, there's so much noise. Basically, the Olympics were in this town, in this city rather, or whatever, in some state or some country, right? And so what they did is they spent hell of money to make it that one area really good, but no one was allowed to travel that was there at the Olympics because the city was such a shithole. But they were trying to make their shitty look good, so people would go there. And the problem was you'd go there and get trapped there. Essentially, there's like no way out. Essentially, or they try to make it look good. As there's an image. I can't find it. If I can find it, I'll post it on as the thumbnail. But yeah, I'll look for it after this. But yeah, the point is, the people like the way I watch you is you're talking, and I'll skip past you talking about you and how you feel and you whatever you think and blah 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 blah, and I'll skip it so I can watch the report because I'm not here for you. I'm here for the report. You're the messenger, right? Deliver the message. Stop making it about you. And this goes to a lone liberal. This goes to Tim Pool. Again, I have a list This goes to Luke Beasley, Adam Mock, Chris Mowry, Kyle Kolinsky, David Pacman, The Rash National, Philip DeFranco, Stephen Mold, Colton Wexler, Hassan Parker, Tim Poole, Caroline Levitt, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Laura Trump, Mike Huckabee, Tucker Carlson, Kellyanne Conway, Peter Ducey, Caroline Levitt, Asbon Gold, Long Island Audit, Shoe on Head, Destiny, Bill Burr, Russell Peters, Conan O'Brien, talk show hosts in general, The Nero Zerg, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Kaku, whatever his name is, something Kaku, the science dude, the science community in general, the rock community in general, pop culture in general, all of them in general, movies and such in general. I'm kidding about the in general, by the way. Just, anyways, Tyler One, Nile Blue, Night Blue, and I put Osama bin Laden because he was the same fucking thing, basically, right? And they all just won't focus, and they're all about spin and bullshit, and it's just too much noise. And that's the problem. There's just too much fucking noise, right? And that's the problem. And it's not because I'm old. It's literally there's too much noise in the world. And that's why nothing's getting done, and that's why we keep going backwards. Because I'm trying to get the truth spoken, but you have to hear from 5,000 dudes in front of me that are making the current truth way farther. So by the time I get there and say the truth, it's no longer the truth because the goalposts have moved because of all the fucking noise, right? That's the system, that's the government, how it works. If the government was how it was supposed to work and I only had 5 people to go through and then they made a decision or something like that, then it would work. And that's what's happening with legal immigration too. With and they say like the wait list to get in. I forget the name of it. But there's like some wait list that they have to apply to or something, and they wait like fucking 50 years or whatever to get into America. And there's the illegal immigrants because they're abusing this system. And I think the law that was shot down by Trump, and the law was to make that system better, but they shot it down so they can say, "Oh, look at how bad this is. Vote for me. I'm Trump. I'll fix it." And again, it's just noise. It's just a way for the rich to benefit. This is what's it called? Child trafficking. Like this, the little girls, like little Mexican girls, little hot ass Mexican girls, child trafficking. Like they come over into America. I remember seeing a video that was posted on Facebook about some reporters that went to a hotel that was for ICE before ICE was a thing, I think, and well, before it was a thing, if that makes sense. But anyways, some fat dude was like, "No, you can't come in. You can't come in." He's like, some fat dude, and it's like, "How the fuck are you a cop?" And there's like Mexican families behind him, and there's like little daughters and little girls and shit, little boys. And it's like, dude, and he's the one watching them and in control of them. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And we're wondering how the hell human trafficking and illegal medication and whatnot. It's like you're pointing at the system, but you don't understand the problem is the system. You keep bringing people in, like Trump and his whole crew. They're bad people. You get them out. It's just like Tim Pool is a bad person. David Pacman is a bad person. The lone liberal is a bad person, right? Get them out. Bring Sanders in. Bring me in. Bring people who cut to the chase in. People that don't make noise and like you're stretched out and you're reaching hard and you don't want to do it anymore. It's not because you're old, son. It's because you're fake and you're a liar, dude. Anyways, I've been talking for too long. Almost 40 minutes. Anyways, I'm out here, so be well, be safe. I keep wiping my face because I had a stroke in October of 2023. And the right side of my face is numb. It doesn't fucking, so I just drool, and so I wipe it away when I talk. When I talk, I drool, so I wipe it away, and I don't anymore because it makes a lot of noise. So, anyways, yeah, I'm disabled. I had a stroke because of my health. I was basically homeless. I lived near my father, or my stepdad, I guess, because my mother had passed away. Because the town I was in, basically, they decided I was a drug seeker because they cut me off and started giving me some watered down bullshit pills, and they cut my income. I was on SSI. They said, "Oh, you're not disabled anymore because you're not talking to doctors." But in reality, the reason why I wasn't talking to doctors is because they had labeled me a drug seeker and refused to see me. So there's that whole thing. Um, but yeah, my mom passed away because again the medication was fake and watered down and bullshit, and they blamed us. And also a brain tumor, like 6 months after I graduated, brain tumor. So I've been disabled and I've worked for maybe a total of 6 years of my life, and I'm 40. So, anyways, be well, be safe. I'm out. God bless. Godspeed. I'm a coach, and I'm a psychiatrist, for hire. If you want, like, I'll make you better. I'll help you. I'll help you see the light. And that's actually my tag in League of Legends is guiding light, right? That's what I am. I'm a guiding light. I'm a coach. I'm a daddy, bitch. I'll fucking straighten you up. Anyways, I'm out. So be well, be happy, be safe. God bless. Godspeed. Be strong. Praise Allah. Praise Yevon. I'm out of here. And peace.